a bit of a Croatian background to our business. How Plaza came about is we've only been working for 3 months as it was Plaza Plumbing. So my background's all plumbing from when I was young, and I've also got building qualifications. I started going around to people's houses at the Gold Coast, mums and dads, and they just had problems with various types of trades. So they couldn't get people to come to jobs, they weren't turning up for quotes. So I was going to do bathroom renovations and do new plumbing items, and found a bit of a gap in the market. So what I'm doing now is I'm actually connecting the clients with some of the trades they're missing, and I've got a small team of guys that have skills in different areas in building. So I would come to a house where a client would say, I want a new bathroom, and I say, yeah, I can do the bathroom for you. And they say, I have a painter, he's my uncle, but I can't find a carpenter, a plumber, a wet sealer. So I kind of just take that package on and say, how about I organise whatever you don't have and just solve that problem. So due to market demand, I'm kind of offering like a trade solution for mums and dads and grandparents who want to do some work on their house in bathrooms, kitchens, and just connecting them with either some trades or all the trades they need to complete the job. So that's how that came about. Next is my family. So I have a family of 7 now. So this is my wife, Rosie. She's a very talented interior designer. So she's gonna move into the business eventually. She's stopped doing interior design to look after the family, me and the kids. So it's been 9 years now she hasn't worked in interior design. We've been together for 20 years. So, pretty much from when we were young kids. And this is Grace, Anthony, Isla, Daniel, 3, 5, 7 and 9. And Theo, our dog we just got, just to make things a bit easier, add a dog into the family as well. Okay, so I'm not very good at doing these slides, so I kind of done it back to front, I realised this morning, so I'll just read it out from how it all started. So how it actually started is my dad left a PVC fitting that's like about this big on the ground and a pick handle, and I decided to try to break it because I was about, 7 or 8 years old and I like to break things. So I smashed this fitting and it snapped in half, sprung back, hit me in the face, cut all inside my nose here. My nose was actually half hanging off. Run to my mum and go, what happened? And then I thought, I want to be a drainer and plumber now. This is, that's how it originally started. Okay, and then moving forward from that, so my grandfather was a builder and a drainer, like that was his skill. So he started in Canberra in the 60s and actually did the first houses drainage. So as Canberra was being built up in the 60s, my grandfather had a little drainage company. Well, back then it was one of the biggest drainage companies doing doing all the new homes all through Canberra. And then my dad, him and his 2 sisters, he was the oldest son, boy, Croatian, so he already had to do that job. And then it came to me. So I went to school up to year 10, went through, they had a career advisory thing in year 10, and they were talking about what kind of careers would be good for you, asked all these questions. I went through, filled everything out and worked out. I went home to my dad and said, hey, I'm gonna be a massage therapist. I've done all these forms. And my dad's like, okay, cool. So they helped me get the forms. I put it in an envelope and gave it to my dad. I said, can you please post this to CIT because I'm going to enroll to be a massage therapist. Now that no one knows where that letter went. That letter never went anywhere. And then about a month before the end of the year 10, my dad, I was just living with my dad at that time, so I didn't have my mum there. He's not good with paperwork or anything, but somehow managed to enroll me in plumbing CIT. So I was like, all right, he's like, oh, we didn't get the massage thing, but you got plumbing, blah, blah, and full-time work ready to go. It just all worked out. So that's how I started. Now, with the journey, so it was actually so much harder than I imagined and how hard my dad and family worked. So my first job, we had 36 units and It was just me and my dad. He had no other workers. Like no one would actually work with my dad. That's why he had no workers. So when he brought me on, he thought that was a good idea because I had to stay. So we had a job doing just drainage for 36 units, deep trenches, and it was raining every day. So his idea was, so we didn't waste time, we get there at 4 o'clock in the morning, clean out all the trenches of the mud, while he started digging more trenches. So the first 3 hours of the morning, I was shoveling mud out of trenches, and then it would get to 7:30, and then we could start doing our work, laying the pipes, then graveling. Got to about 7 o'clock at night. He had little lights set up so we could work earlier and later because the sun time was too short. Had dinner at work, went home. So my first 3 months, I lost contact with everyone that I knew in school. We had no phones, nothing. And I remember just laying on 2 pillows at night, one under my legs and my back because I couldn't move. My hands were bleeding, calluses in my fingers, like it's the hardest work I ever done. And that actually built me to be able to handle any hard challenge in life in general, like just doing such hard work. I just want a little bit of a quick funny story. We had a Saint Bernard, which is like the biggest dog you can get. And we used to put him in a van. It was fully packed with stuff, and we left about this much room for this much dog. So his head would be in the back window about this big. Everywhere around, people beep and wave, and it was like, we're famous kind of thing. And as soon as it got to summertime, people would like try to pull us over and say that our dog needed water because his drool was like long strands stuck all over. And it was fogged up. They thought he couldn't breathe in the back. So we got used to that. And then one day this person's like, no, pull over, pull over. We're like, it's all good. He's fine. Like, everyone does this. And he's like, no, pull over. And we're like, we pull over, we look at the back. His tail was hanging out the back door. So when we shut the back door, we didn't realise his tail. So he had this big tail hanging out the back door of the car and driving along. We're like, oh, that was a bit awkward. Tucked it back in. And so that's a tail story. One thing I don't miss about Canberra is in the mornings, laying drainage pipes, they're all covered in frost. And I had about 15 lengths to 6 metres on the ute. And I remember coming to an intersection, hitting the brakes. All the pipes just scatter through a main intersection. And I'm there by myself picking up frozen pipes and everyone's just watching me. So in the Gold Coast, we don't have any frozen pipes in the morning, so that's awesome. The really good parts is eventually my younger brothers came to work with us, and when you're busy at work, if you get to be with your family at work, you still get to spend a lot of time with family. So that was one of the good parts. We got me, dad and brother at work together, and we got to spend a lot of time together. And then went on to later on, we wasted all our money on cars, me and my dad. Grew a large business in Canberra. Okay, so we'll move on. So services we offer: plumbing, drainage, renovations, and interior design. Successes. So I've actually was qualified in 2006. So when I tell people that I was fully licensed like 17 years ago, they're like, they think I'm telling stories, but I've actually done 22 years on the tools full time. So a lot of experience. I've got a certificate in building, so I'm qualified builder, so I know a lot about building too, so I can offer good advice with helping people choose trades and making sure they know what they're doing. I can operate all types of machinery because I've been around machinery all life, so every bit of machinery I just get on and I can use it quite well. One of my big achievements, which I try to always brag when we talk to people or other plumbers, is I did 46 units, all the drainage, all the underground pipe work in 14 days. As far as I know, I've never seen anyone else do that, and I put together a project, a team. I didn't actually touch, on that job, I didn't touch any pipes. I just project managed the job. I had 9 staff on the books at one stage, and I've found a way to provide for 4 children with my wife at home, so that's a very, very big success. Lessons learned. I just thought I'd say some lessons learned because 22 years in business, there's lessons that everyone can take from mistakes. Don't use excessive finance to make quick dollars. So there's so many options out there where you can just go to a broker and buy a piece of equipment and you can make $140 per hour, $160 per hour with no deposit, and it's very tempting, and I did it a few times. But that can easily fall over when work drops off because you end up having 5 to 6 year commitments with loans. So don't take easy options by financing something that can make you quick money. Or be careful who you partner with everyone. Just if you're going to partner with someone, do a lot more research about where they're going to fit in the business, and make sure they are suited for where your business is going with your family and everything like that. Just would also like to say business can fail no matter how much control you have. So please see mentors or coaches and make sure that you know that your business can fail without your, like, no matter what you do, it can fail. So make sure you always plan for that. With your business, I'll just say use your business to build personal wealth. So don't load all your money in your business and build all this stuff that's owned by the company. Make sure that you're building your personal wealth for you and your family with your money as you're growing your business, so that if something does happen with your business, your family is still safe. Money doesn't make you happy. There was a period of time, maybe 2 years before COVID, where I had a Porsche and I had all this stuff, and my wife was cruising around and we were just blowing money on everything. But I didn't get to spend time with my family. I was working day, night, sleeping 5 hours a night. I was actually unhealthy. I was overweight, and now where I am now, I don't have anywhere near the money I had, but I have all the time, and I'm way more happier having time than having the Porsche and all those things at that time. When I look back at it, I would never go back to where I was then. What's the next one?
That's the last one.
Okay, yeah, so I just like to be connected with mums and dads in their house that just want to do little projects and they can't find trades, they can't find reliable people, and I just want to solve that problem. So you have, let's say your grandma, I'm the kind of person you want to send to your grandma and know that I will look after her, make sure that if she wants to use someone else, they won't rip her off. I look over their quotes. I make money by managing my trades, but I'm also happy to say if you have a painter or someone that you want to use, I help those clients. I look over their quotes, make sure there's nothing missing off it, and I don't charge for that. I spend an hour with nearly all clients at no charge to look over their jobs, their renovations, give them advice, and just pretty much fill in the gaps. So I don't try and just take the whole project for myself. So anyone who's a trade that's really good at their job and wants to look after people, I want to connect with them too. So, questions?
What's your scope like, territory-wise? Are you Australia-wide? Are you national? Are you local?
Yeah, so far at the moment we're just going from like Tweed to the outskirts of Brisbane. Depending on how my team grows and where the market pushes us, we'll start to specialise in areas. But being new to the Gold Coast, we're just filling in gaps and doing what people need. Yeah.
Isn't it what a great journey in life? You know, we had life. Actually, we've all had journeys in our life, and they're all so different, but they're all very real for you as you go through that journey of life. But gee, you won't get a more genuine person, except for me. No, a more genuine person than Jason in regard to what he does. It's a credit to you and the knowledge you have. How young? When he's about 95, he's going to still look about 60. Isn't he, this guy? 20 years in business or something, was it?
22 years full time.
22. That's hard to believe, isn't it? Must have started to nappies. Is there any other questions of Jason?
Any questions?
So just refer to him, anything in that world, you can feel totally comfortable and say, right, he's a good plumber or whatever, or he can supervise whatever activity it may be in that type of world.
He did a good job for one of my...
Sorry?
He did a really good job for one of my customers.
Did he?
Yeah.
They're the things we need to know, because you saying he's done a good job is far more important than you.
Than me saying it.
So we put a hot water timer, and we put in a new hot water system, take the old solar hot waters, and we're putting new timers in there for hot water. So now he did the hot water side of it, we came and did the solar side of it.
Yeah.
So we came up as a team together. So
Yeah.
it's quite a good team.
Is there any other shout out? Go on, you were going to
Well,
say
to touch on that, so my business revolves around the client. So for example, that client rings me up on Friday afternoon going, hey, we've got our solar going in on Tuesday, it's come early and we haven't had time to put the hot water system in, and so I haven't looked I only just talked to you that morning. I go, that's fine, I'll have it in before then. It's not your problem, you just give it to me. I have another client who says, I want to move in on Tuesday, and I've only just met you 4 days ago, I need this done. I go, just sign the quote today, I'll get it done by Tuesday. Like, it's not, I talk to my clients, and the person that I have booked in Monday, Tuesday, I'll say to them, is it all right if I do your job 3 days later? Is there anything holding you up? And if they say no, I say, do you mind if I put a client here because they're moving into their house? and I move my clients around based on their needs. I don't just tell this is when I want and what I do. I work with if your hot water dies on the Sunday night, I went and got a hot water operating on the Monday, a whole new system, quoted everything in because they need hot water in their house. So, yeah, you can rely on me for that.
Thank you very much. Now, Nita, you wanted to say something about social media.
Social media. Jason, can you give me one of your cards? I just want to add your contact details to that post. So every week